Indeed, we have come back to say thank you, Jesus. It's a beautiful Thursday morning, and you're welcome to the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Nanaya Wasari. As well, as usual, as we say, Koko Digest is a show that keeps you up to date with everything that's happening in politics, governance, business, sports, and whatever you have it. Today, we'll be having in-depth discussions in all our segments. We'll be having the lifestyle segment, which Bevelyn will be bringing us beyond the mic. She'll be talking to Party Emin, who is a rapper. Also, I'll be traveling down memory lane because I have my Sunday school teacher coming to the studios here today, Pastor Mrs. Hannah Abrams up here on our main segment to tell us about how we can strengthen the parent-child relationship. This and many more. Peter Nsian will be bringing us business. Clementi Abankwe is also in the building. We have a fully packed itinerary for today. So don't go anywhere, stick and stay. This is the Koko Digest Morning Show. I have with me in the studio here, Peter Kodrinsia. Peter, Anna, it's a wonderful Thursday morning.
Up and grateful, divine selection.
Yes, divine selection.
I must say that you are truly representing Africans. You are representing Ghana.
As always,
I like
as
your
always.
outfits.
Thank you. You're looking very smart as well.
Thank you.
Yes. So would you want to go into the weather before we continue? How is the weather looking like for us today?
Okay, so today, the weather this morning, those within the southern sector, they should expect misty and foggy weather, which is actually going to reduce visibility. And so GMET is actually advising early commuters and drivers to make good use of their headlights and also reduce their speed. And then as the day progresses, the southern sector is also going to experience sunny conditions. And these days we can all attest that the heat is too much. And then today the temperature is ranging from 30 degrees Celsius to 39 degrees Celsius. So it should tell you the intensity of the heat today. And then as the day progresses as well, the southern sector, those within the coastal area and the inlands should actually expect, some rain. There's a 30% of rain this evening for those within Accra, Aflao, and its environment, the coastal area. And then the northern, sector remains dry and hazy, and so the GMET is advising them to handle naked flame very well because it can easily catch fire. And for our fisher folks as well, today the sea is very calm, and so they can carry out their duties calmly. So basically that is what is happening this afternoon. It is misty condition for the drivers and what have you, and then the afternoon it is going to be sunny period with some places, especially Takwa and Axim. There's a 30% of rain this afternoon, and then the evening as well. And then there's a 30% possibility of rain for those in the coastal area, like I made mention of Accra, Kaswa, Cape Coast, and what have you. And so today the weather is fairly good for other activities as well.
The weather is fairly good for other activities as well. Peter, but remember, just on Tuesday, before we conclude the show, you had to step out and then meet GMET and to talk about certain issues. Would you want us to give us a little brief on it?
Exactly, like you said, I like a little bit, so I don't want to be in a hurry because I'm sure definitely next week we'll have them on the show to give us in-depth analysis and understanding of the southern sector seasonal forecast, and that will determine when and how our farmers should go on about their planting duties. And Tuesday, like you rightly said, it was duly launched. The Meteorological Awareness Month was duly launched, and it was the Minister for Technology and Digital Communications, Sam George, who was actually invited to overtake that. And I'll just give a little to our.
Just a brief.
And so this very year, the rainy season is starting from March. And
it's starting earlier.
Yes.
Usually the dry season begins from November and ends in March.
Yes.
But this time around, rainy season is starting in
from March.
Okay.
And so, like I said, we'll have the expert here to, dissect, answer all the questions. They were here before the, the launch. And then viewers asked so many questions. Clement Yabankwe also asked so many questions. So they'll be back here to answer those questions for viewers as well.
Indeed. Also, we have the infographic for the weather to be displayed shortly, I'm sure, behind you. Sure. So you can actually tell us what is actually going on based on what's on the map and what's on the screens at the moment. So, Peter, you can actually do that with us.
All right. Yes, so as I stated earlier, I think when the infographic is displayed, we would have a look at it. And so the northern The northern sector, I said earlier, is going to remain dry and hazy. And so the people within that sector are advised to make good use of, they should handle naked flame with care because it can easily trigger into fire outbreak. And then the southern sector, as I stated earlier, this morning they are experiencing misty and foggy weather conditions. It means that the weather, it is going to reduce visibility. And so they are advised to take note on that. And
you've gone through all of that with us. Just pinpoints the different colors and the different shapes so that we'll understand. Because we see that the northern sector is looking orange, the middle sector is looking somewhat lemonish, lime, I don't know, light green. And then we also have a darker shade of green and then a white portion. Can you tell us what that means?
All right, so with the northern sector, that's the orange color. And the GMET tells us that when you see an orange color, it means that be prepared. Be prepared. And then the letters you're seeing, that is the H. And the H represent the impacts. And then the H, it means that the impact is going to be medium. Medium. So the impact of the hazy condition is medium. Even with that, and the color being representing being prepared means that you have to take action. I mean, you have to, irrespective of the impact being medium, there's something you have to do.
Be prepared.
Yes, and those there, they should make good use of their, they should make good use of nose masks because the air, it's kind of polluted, it's dusty and what have you. And then riders, they should also use the
face shields. And
exactly. Yes. And so with that, when you come to the transition belt with the yellow color, which means be aware. And so today the yellow color, the letter there is E, and the E means the impact is medium. And then when you come to the coastal belt with the color green, the green also means low risk. Green also means low risk. And then when you check the metrics table, the risk table, the green today, the letter there is D, and the D represents low risk as well. And so basically that is all. And then when you look down there, you see the sector, the minimum temperature. And so the coastal and forest area, the minimum temperature today is 23 and 21
That's when you look on the map, it's in and around the Axim enclave.
Exactly.
That's where you're experiencing the minimum temperature.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Peter. And now it's time for us to take our motivational quote of the day, what we call a daily dose of Vim. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Yes, and today's quote is from T. Harv Eker, and he says that if you want to change the fruit, you first have to change the roots. I'm taking again. If you want to change the fruits, you will first have to change the roots. T. Harv Eker. I think this one spells tackling issues from their fundamental. From their initial stages.
Exactly.
In Cree, we have a proverb that says, I don't know how to put it, but that's the import of what I'm trying to say. Peter, how do you actually relate with this particular quote?
Yes, so like the example you were citing, like, so in terms of attitude, character-wise, so there's a when you want to strengthen or change or, guide the character of an individual, is supposed to begin from the person's childhood. That's where you're able to train and give him or her the right, values of life. And so it's basically, most of the time we talk about social issues and we go down to say that we have to tackle the root causes before we talk about the preventive measures. So basically, I think that's what it's all about. And so when you want to change the fruits, you have to, change the root as well. So basically from the grassroots to the top. All
right, so basically from the roots to the top, that's how we sign out of the motivational quotes of the day. We are also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go on there, you just look for Clock TV, you'll be able to watch us live and in color. Also, our WhatsApp lines are fully active. You can send us what that particular quote means to you via WhatsApp line 0500500421. I'll be kind enough to read them for you. Up next is the online segment where we review newspapers and online stories. So don't go anywhere, we'll be back. Yes, we are still live on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I'm here with Oje Insia Peter, and we'll be talking about our news review, and we'll be reviewing news, I should say, where we'll be talking about what's going on in the various newspapers and online digitalized platforms and all that. Peter, today, do you have any stories that are trending that you'd want us to talk about?
Yes. But then, before my story, are you a fan of Kenyatta?
Kofi Kenyatta.
Kofi Kenyatta.
I mean, he's a very good musician, so.
So there's this town that is associated to when you hear Ifyekuma. Ifyekuma, you think of Kenyatta.
Yes, Ifyekuma number 9.
Number 9,
yes,
exactly.
Yes.
And there's something trending about an assembly member of Ifyekuma West who actually caught 2 teenagers in a compromising way. The girl is 13 years and the boy is 16 years. So when he caught them, in order to punish them, he took them to an uncompleted building and forced them to actually have sex. And when he was caught, he said it was a way of punishing them. And so that begs the question. You know, an assembly member is actually, we vote to elect an assembly member, and they are supposed to actually take care of our communities. So for a leader, someone who represents government at the grassroots, to actually do this to kids, it's very worrying. It's very, very worrying. It means that people with power can actually do anything at all. So putting, let's say, his position as an assembly member and at that place aside, as an adult, if you chance on, kids or teenagers in a compromising way, what do you have to do? Do you have to actually force them to do what, society is preaching not to preaching kids from doing? I mean, it's very bad, and I'm glad that the police has taken over and investigation is being launched, and I think that he should be punished severely because 13 years and 16 years, it's not fine. So if actually you catching them in that compromising way, what you have to do is to, advise them, report them to their parents, and then the necessary punishment will be meted out to them. But you forcing them, this is a criminal act. You forcing them to actually have sex, it's rough. It's wrong. And you representing the government as the grassroots, and look at what you're doing. And what even shocked me most is that it is reported that people were actually around taking videos of the act. Taking videos of the act. So what?
They are all culprits. Today's motivational quote, we actually said that if you want to change the fruits, you first need to tackle the roots. You first need to change the roots.
Exactly.
And most of these things, you mentioned spectacularly that some of these issues that we see, we have to now go and find the root causes of these things before we try to put in preventive measures. Now, if you are someone that has been elected by your people to tackle some of these issues, and this is the best solution that you thought you could actually end this, maybe try to curb this particular behavior, then you must be also called to question. I'm sure today on our main segment we'll be talking about. We'll be tackling the topic, love begins at home, strengthening the parent-child bond. All these things happen as a result of maybe some of the root causes that we can relate them to is lack of parental care, lack of parental guidance. Exactly. So I'm sure Pastor Mrs. Abraham Zapia will be hitting the nail on some of these things so that because when we tackle things at home, then in the bigger picture, then we see things clearer, and then we sort of try to curb some of these things. Exactly. But Peter, it is a very, very sorry sight. But those of us that do not know this particular story, I'll read a little bit about it. And he says that according to the report, he took the teenagers to an unfinished building and ordered them to have sex as punishment for being in a relationship at what he considered at a tender age. He reportedly pulled a belt and threatened to beat them if they failed to comply. The viral footage is said to show the young boy forced to insert his manhood into the girls while assembly member and other unidentified individuals looked on. Amid whipping the boy, he shouted, "You think you are smart? Take off your shorts and do it early before I let you go. You two referring to the female, that is, take off your dress and open your legs for him. Do it, or I'll use the belt on you or him. Do it, kiss him as well. And if he says it has entered, I'll stop beating you. But if not, you'll be beaten till the next day. Yeah. So this is someone who has enabled rape, exactly, and has to be dealt with by, exactly, by all facets of the law. Peter, I want you to give your concluding remarks on this particular one.
Yeah, it means that if we have these kind of people in our communities, then we are not safe at all. Look at recently, when you take a look at what is happening in our schools, our second cycle schools, you wonder how these kids were brought up. And then this is a critical example. Now these kids are traumatized, and then if care is not taken, they will grow up with this perception, this mentality, and then they'll go to school and influence others to do same. This is bad, and like you said, he needs to be punished. With all the people around taking videos and what have you, they need to be punished to serve as a deterrent. But this is bad. This is bad coming from a whole assembly member, somebody the people trusted and actually gave you power to overlook to steer the affairs of whatever happening in the community. For you to take a decision like this, it's very wrong. And then it means that kids are very vulnerable. I mean, for you to even pull a belt, threaten to beat them if they don't do it, it's wrong. It's very wrong. And then we shouldn't tolerate some of these things in our communities.
All right, we shouldn't tolerate some of these things in our communities. Peter, do you have any other form of digitalized news items that we could tackle?
No, but then on Tuesday, it's a story we will talk about on the business segment, but I still want us to take some pages out of it. On Tuesday, the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kaseo Atoforsen, laid the bill for the Value for Money office, which actually during his 2025 budget presentation in 2025, that was one of the things that he made mention of, which of course Ghanaians, most people were happy about it, because when you take a look at the contracts that have been awarded and the procurement, the PPPs and what have you, the amount of money that goes into it, and looking at the results, that is it, there are total difference. And so when he made mention of that value for office money, most people were happy about it. And like I said, Tuesday he laid the bill before Parliament, and then we are looking forward for its implementation and what have you. And then there's also, we have other institutions as well in this country who are supposed to steer the affairs when it comes to corruption, when it comes to contract and what have you, but they are not working. And so other people are also saying that they don't want this office to also act like the ones that we have, the mandate given to them, they end up not working. And then there's a lot of money will go into it to establish from the grassroots to the top and what have you. And then the Ministry of Finance actually projected that if it's able to come into being annually, Ghana can actually get about 300 billion from that office as well. And so we are looking forward to its implementation as well. But then there should be stricter measures put in place. Their mandate should be clear so that each and everybody will know. And then I think they should be publishing, when they give out contracts, they should publish it outside. This is the amount involved. This is the timeline. The contractor being awarded, the name and everything should be there so that the people of Ghana can hold them accountable. Yes. So some of these things, we are looking forward for its implementation as well. So.
All right, so we are definitely looking forward to that, and I'm sure after the State of the Nation's address, we'll be having quite an extra insight in that particular one. But this one says that Koko Board has denied sponsoring the Black Stars 12 million donation. That's what they're saying. According to a communique by the Koko Board, that Ghana Koko Board, they say that the Ghana Koko Board wishes to categorically state the claim suggesting Koko Board has donated 12 million Ghana cedis to the Black Stars while neglecting cocoa farmers is false, misleading, and without any factual basis. Now, it says that Koko Board remains fully committed to its core mandate of prioritizing the welfare of cocoa farmers, including the prompt payment of cocoa purchases, provision of input extension services, and sustained investment in the sector. It says that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmers farmer payments to support the Black Stars. Now, I'm just quoting this. It says that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payments to support the Black Stars. I'm saying it again so we think about that particular statement. It says that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payments to support the Black Stars. We urge the public to disregard this misinformation and rely only on official Koko Board communication channels for accurate and verified information. Peter, at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payment to support the Black Stars. You know, this particular allegation came on as a result of the fact that, you know, the one spearheading the Koko Board, the CEO, Randy Abe, is a known sports enthusiast. And so there were some allegations that the Ghana Football Association had gone to lobby for some extra money to be able to take care of the Black Stars, knowing that they had a very good relationship with him. So it's been purported that Koko Board gave a donation of 12 million Ghana cedis after that particular visit to them. But Koko Board has come out to deny that particular claim. And as to whether they denied that particular claim, it remains to be seen, because the statement says that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payments. So it didn't just say that it has outrightly or it didn't donate anything by saying that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payment. So what about other funds?
So it means that, so it means that maybe they donated some funds, but not funds meant for farmers as well. But you see, during the budget, I think some amount of money was allocated to the sports ministry for Black Stars as well because of the impending World Cup. So what actually happened to the money?
I mean, the World Cup is now coming up, so I'm sure you'll be hearing more of that soon.
So I'll be surprised to hear that they lack funds or they need extra or something. Because recently in Parliament, I think the Minister for Sports and Recreation actually said he was going to donate 2 months of his salary to support
the sports fund.
And so if, you know, monies are coming here and there and and then we better pray it's not true, because looking at the condition of our cocoa sector currently, with producer prices being reduced to a certain amount, taking a closer look at the promise the government gave and looking at the economic situation we find ourselves right now, if it should be true, then there's Randy Abe, Dr. Randy Abe will have some
so they are not refuting the claims totally, but they are saying that at no point has Koko Board diverted funds meant for farmer payments to support the Black Stars.
So right now what we should know is that did they give out some funds? If yes, that money, which aspect, whose money was that? So we need clarification. You know, they say whenever you see smoke, there's
no smoke without fire.
There's no smoke without fire.
Every rumor has an iota of truth in them. Maybe those are just popular statements, and we hope that it doesn't reflect in this particular deed. And then we'll be moving on to our next story, which talks about the Ukrainian president being visited by the Foreign Affairs Minister, that's Honorable Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, who went to appeal for the release of some detained Ghanaians who were there. We have a video of that, so you can sit back and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome, and I had dialogue not once with your president. Best regards to him and from my team. You're very welcome. Thanks for yesterday's support, and happy to see you.
Thank you very much for hosting us today. You have been very gracious since we arrived here in the beautiful city of Kiev.
Yes, so this particular video, that says that the Ghana Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has disclosed that he was hosted by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during an official visit to Ukraine, where discussions centered on securing the release of 2 Ghanaian citizens held as prisoners of war. In a statement shared on his official Facebook, Mr. Ablakwa described the meeting as gracious and the discussions are fruitful, noting that Ghana formally appealed on humanitarian grounds for the release of the detained nationals. According to the Foreign Affairs Minister, once again, he says that talks also focus on addressing growing threat of human trafficking networks that target vulnerable African youth. He warned that many unsuspecting young people are lured abroad under false pretenses, only to find themselves caught up in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Our bilateral talks explored how our two countries can effectively combat the threats posed by trafficking networks who lure vulnerable, unsuspecting youth from Africa only to end up risking their lives in the ongoing war, he stated. Mr. Blakwa expressed optimism about the outcome of negotiations, signaling confidence that diplomatic engagement would yield positive results. He further conveyed the appreciation of President John Dramani Mahama and the government of Ghana to President Zelensky for ensuring that the rights of the Ghanaian detainees are being protected in accordance with international law. Beyond the humanitarian discussions, both leaders agreed to deepen bilateral relations through strategic cooperation in agriculture, defense, education, and trade. The engagement marks a significant step in strengthening diplomatic ties between Ghana and Ukraine. President Zelensky has also extended a formal invitation to President Mahama to visit Kiev as Ukraine seeks to elevate its diplomatic relations with Africa. Reaffirming the government's commitment to protecting its citizens, Mr. Blakwa stressed that every Ghanaian life matters to the Mahama administration, ending a statement with a nostalgic sign of for God and for country. Peter.
Every Ghanaian life matters to John Dramani Mahama and his administration.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, this is a step in the right direction because most people, like you rightly said, how should I even put it? I don't want to say it's unemployment or the situation of the economy in Ghana. Most people want to travel outside to seek for greener pastures. But the question people refuse, or the question we don't ask, is that where you're traveling to, comparing the situation and where you are in your country, which one is best? And so I know of a friend who was actually lured to go there, and Ukraine during when the destruction or the fight was at its peak.
Yeah.
He was lured to go there, and then he found himself in the military going to fight. I mean, he was thinking he was going to a different country to actually work hard, seek for greener pastures, and come back, but he was lured to that side. And because during the fight, they needed more hands to actually, and then you see, they know what is at stake, and so they don't intend using their own people. So they use the third person, and then the third person available is someone who is eager to make, to make money, to come back to his country. Yeah. And so most people were vulnerable, and so seeing the foreign minister meeting the president to actually, release the people, there is something laudable, and then we encourage the foreign minister to continue with that. And also, I think down here in Ghana, we should make it known to the youth the state of the economy and then the things that they can benefit here, so that if they make up their minds to travel, they should know which of the countries that they want to go. Because sometimes it is better off to be here in Ghana than to go to certain countries. You go there and suffer. You'll be promised a job, you get there and it is a different thing. Most people out there are suffering. But then even coming back to Ghana is a problem.
The stigma around coming back without having anything as well plays its role.
So it's high time we make the situation in Ghana known to the public. And then according to reports, the rate of unemployment is very high. And so I think it's high time government and other private institutions sit together to create more jobs. So this sooner happening tomorrow, we expect to see that aspect of it.
I'm sure when the 24-hour starts falling in place and we have rotational jobs, a lot more people can actually then fall in different aspects of the economy to actually do all for themselves.
But there's another issue. People are also talking about utility tariffs. The backbone of this 24-hour economy is actually on electricity and then the privatization of it. So right now, if utility tariffs are high and job creation and then 24-hour economy is going to actually depend on electricity, then where are we going as a country?
All right, so I'll ask you to put a pin in that because that's definitely an interesting angle that you're tackling this particular conversation from. And so we'll come back. We'll pause now for sports and other discussions. We'll come back and then also we'll go deeper into the second aspect of our online news review. So don't go anywhere. This is still Koko Digest Morning's show. Stick and stay.
Hello, lovely viewers. Good morning and welcome to the Sports Update segment on your favorite morning show, the Koko Digest Morning Show. I'm your host for today, Benedict Nketia, and you know here we bring you nothing but the best in the world of sports. We are covering all the action, both local and international. Before I dive into my stories for today, I want to touch a little on the international games that happened yesterday, the Champions League matches that happened yesterday over the week. I mean, Tuesday and then yesterday. So we had some games, we witnessed some games. One of the interesting games that happened yesterday happened to be between Juventus and Galatasaray. It was quite a thrilling game. It ended by 7-5. A host of 12 goals, happening between the two legs. That is 5-2 first leg against Juventus, and then 3-2 Juventus winning by 3-2 against Galatasaray yesterday. And of course, Galatasaray had to go through after the two legs. Galatasaray had to go through because they won on aggregate 7-5. And some of the games that happened had to do with PSG facing Monaco, and in the end PSG went through. Real Madrid facing Benfica, Real Madrid going through. Atalanta facing Dortmund, Atalanta going through. One of the most interesting games too that we witnessed yesterday had to be between Inter Milan and Bodo Glimt. It was quite thrilling because Inter Milan was last season's the first runner-up going against PSG, where they lost in the finals. But then of course this time around they couldn't even go through the playoffs. Another game that was very thrilling that we were hoping that there could be upsets was the game between Atletico Madrid and then Club Brugge. And of course, Atletico Madrid showed that they had experience and they went through against Club Brugge. So there's many more games that went on yesterday and then on Tuesday. But then I think I have to cut it for now. Let me go straight to our stories for today. So on our first story, it has to do with the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, marking his 10 years with strong praise for Ghana football progress. So yes, before the story came out, Gianni Infantino, marking his 10-year progress into, being the president of FIFA, the Federation of Football Association, International Football Association. He marked his 10 years by according praise to the Ghana Football Association, of course, their progress so far. So yes, he stated that Ghana has been one of the countries that have utilized most of the resources that comes from FIFA towards their sports federation and towards the development of their sports, both in women, both in men, and then of course building stadia, creating avenues for the football fans and of course the footballers out there, sports fanatics, to be able to enjoy the game that has to go on when it comes in relation to Ghana. So yes, he stated that Ghana has been one of the member associations who have made excellent use of the FIFA Forward and other FIFA sports programs over the years. So yes, Ghana, we built Ghana Man Soccer Center of Excellence around Pram, where it's a means to help boost sports when it comes to football, of course, amongst the men, women, and the youngsters especially. This is more like an academy for youngsters who want to engage in sports, who want to engage in football. So Gianni Infantino was according praise to the Ghana Football Association, and of course to our president, Keto Kreku, for the good work he is doing with the association and then with the funds that comes from the football association. One of the fields that he spoke about has to do with the women's football, and this is in connection to our second story for today. So our second story for today has to do with Black Queens touchdown in Dubai ahead of the 2026 Pink Ladies Cup tournament. Yeah, so there's a Pink Ladies tournament coming up in Dubai that has to do with 4 nations, including Ghana. This is in preparation towards WAFCON that's going to happen in Morocco next month, just a few days away. So yes, this Pink Ladies Cup has to do with Ghana, of course, our ladies, Hong Kong, Russia, and Tanzania. So yes, we are playing against these 3 other countries, competing for a Pink Ladies trophy. So this is, like I said earlier, this is in preparation. It's a competition, all right. But then, according to our coach, this is according to Boykering, it's also a means to prepare the ladies towards the WAFCON that is happening in a few days time coming up. And then yes, some of the games that we are playing against Hong Kong, we are playing it Our first game is on the 28th of February, and then we'll go on ahead to face Russia on the 3rd of March, and then our last game is against Tanzania on the 6th of March. So yes, after these games, we will have another friendly match against the Ivory Coast, which will also help propel the ladies, prepare them towards the WAFCON that is coming up. And our third story for today has to do with boxing. You know, here we're bringing nothing but not just about football. We bring it a lot. So we are diving straight into the world of boxing. And one of the legends of boxing when it comes to Ghana is Azumah Nelson. So WABA to honor Azumah Nelson at Keta. So next month, there is going to be about next 2 months. There's going to be about in preparation towards the Easter festivities. Of course, the Volta region is trying to host this maiden edition of the Prof. Azumah Nelson Champion Emeritus. This is a accolade that has been accorded to Azumah Nelson for his prowess and his contribution towards the world of boxing in relation to Ghana. So yes, this is a maiden edition that has been organized. That's been organized in Keta, Volta region, where the World Alliance Boxing Association they are organizing this tournament in tribute to Africa's most celebrated boxer that has to do with Azumah Nelson. So yes, this competition is just to honor him and of course encourage the youth, encourage boxers out there, fans who are interested in boxing to also get into it. It's also a means to thank our legendary boxers out there, the likes of Azumah Nelson and Koko for the good work they've done, maintaining or spreading the good name of Ghana out there. So Azumah Nelson is a three-time world champion. So it goes a long way to show that Azumah Nelson has contributed so much when it comes to boxing to the nation. So we thank him for his good work, and of course we hope that this maiden edition of a competition that's going to be organized in memory of him to thank him for his good work will also be successful. And then our final story has to do with the World Cup. We are almost at the competition. We are almost at the beginning of the competition, the World Cup competition. And then most of the news that is, propagated around, it has to do with, the World Cup. The World Cup last Tuesday was about Mexico, the unrest in Mexico. And then, of course, today we are talking about finances. So World Cup security concerns over funding freeze. So yes, we have some of the host cities in USA, Canada, and of course Mexico, raising concerns about their funds being frozen and all that. So that has to do with creating avenues for these competitions to be successful, to be fun, and of course for fans to experience the competition fully. So one of the issues that is pertinent, that is hovering around this competition, has to do with funding. So the federal government is appealing to the government, of course, the U.S. government to release the funding. That is almost $900 million that has been designated for the 11 host cities in the U.S. They've not received their funding, which means with less than 5 months heading towards the World Cup, we were hoping that these issues would not be coming up. These things would have been rectified, of course, fixed by now. But unfortunately, there's a lot going on around the world, and it's affected most of the public purses for most of these countries. But we are hoping that these issues will be fixed, because World Cup is one of the competitions that brings the world together, regardless of your race, regardless of where you come from, regardless of your continent. World Cup is the best out there. So we are hoping that these issues will be fixed as soon as possible, where the 11 cities and then the other countries will receive their funding, and of course they make to be able to prepare very well towards the World Cup. Thank you very much. This is it for the sports update segment. I am your host, Benedict Nketia. Next is the business segment.
It's Annabelle Bevan Ejabia, and this is Lifestyle. Today we are connecting lifestyle with creativity as we explore the realities behind building a music career from the ground up. We are joined by one of Ghana's rising voices, Party MN, an artist whose sound fuses Afro vibes with hip-hop grit and whose lyrics reflect the realities of hustle, faith, and ambition. He represents a new generation of creatives who aren't waiting to be discovered. They are building, grinding, and expanding their reach beyond borders. Party, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you in the studios.
Thank you. I'm blessed to be here this morning. I'm humbled.
Interesting. Clocky. I just hope you are going to have a very good interaction.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you move the spectacle so that we can see your face?
I mean, they know my face. My morning eyes are not really that good. That's why I'm covering them up.
Okay, sure. That's fine. So, from the intro, can you know the title of the song?
The one you just played?
Yes, please.
It's titled Badness. It's,
right.
That was the first word that came to mind when I heard the beat. So,
what was the inspiration?
So let me say this. I was watching, it's a rhythm that went viral. Okay. But I think before even dropping it, I didn't know it was a rhythm everyone was jumping on. So.
Okay, but where's the beats from?
DJ Mac. He's a Jamaican-based dancehall producer.
Wow.
DJ Mac and Crash Dummy.
Okay.
So I think I was on my way to work and I saw this freestyle on IG.
Okay.
She's also a UK-based, partly Jamaican, partly British dancehall artist. She's called Wodi. So I saw her freestyle and I was impressed. Her flow on the beat was so magical. So I just decided to look up the beat. So I shazammed it while I was listening, and then the beat came up. So on my way to work, I think I wrote it. Right. That was what happened.
But when you were putting the lyrics together, what was the inspiration? I've seen a few people on that same beat, but what was the inspiration behind your lyrics to the beat?
I think I just wanted to. I was just having fun on the beat. I was just playing with it. I don't think I was really, really inspired. I just felt... You see, when I saw her freestyle, the first word that came to mind was badness. So I commented badness under her post.
Right.
So when I was listening to the beat, I was just nodding my head, badness. And then I started writing. So it happens like that sometimes.
Badness, right. So Party, the name is Party.
Yes.
I just assumed that you're a Ghana, right?
Yeah, you can assume that. But I'm not a Ghana, I'm a Dangi.
Okay. So is it tete or te?
Nati, tete.
Tete. Is it tete?
No, tete. Yeah, tete.
Hey!
No. Tete is a younger one, right?
Tete, so that which makes you like a first...
Yeah, first male one.
Right. So, what inspired you to go into music? At what time in your life did you see that, oh no, I have to start something?
Yeah, so the big push was in 2020, back in school, where a friend who knew I was a rapper it was one entertainment. He went for the mic and brought to me to rap for everyone to know that I could rap. So that was how music started for me. But prior to that, I had been writing for a couple of years. I was very passionate about music.
Okay.
I mean, listening to music growing up. So I used to write a lot, but I didn't know I was going to, or even if I knew, I didn't know I was going to do it this early. But then you had to take that friend to give me the big push to start. So that was how music started for me.
Right. So now our viewers would like to know you.
Yep.
When the name Party MN, right?
Yeah.
When the name Party MN comes up, tell us about yourself.
So I say I'm just one of us. I'm human.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just a humble guy from growing up in Ashaiman and Tema West, and then Party is, let me explain the name first.
Right.
I usually have this. Party is, a nickname my dad gave me, but my real name is Patrick.
Okay.
So usually Party is a Ghana name, so a lot of people think I'm a Ghana, but I'm not a Ghana. I'll say it's just a nickname.
Ghans and Dangbes actually,
we are actually the same people, like Francis and Asante. So, yeah, my Party is coming from the Patrick.
Okay.
Yeah, given to me by my dad. And then the M and N are my initials of my other names. Okay. So my surname is Muntari, and my middle name is Nati.
Right. So that's where the
Rinati.
party MN is coming from.
Yeah, that's where it's coming from.
Right.
And then I started doing music at the age of, say, 17. I'm a rap artist pretty much, but then I don't like to box myself into one category, so I like to explore other genres.
Right.
And I try to sing as well, so
right.
that's as much as I think they have to know about me as an artist.
Right. Very interesting. So would you say you discovered yourself or someone else discovered you?
I'll say I discovered myself, but I just needed people around me to push me to go for it. So, yeah.
So you needed a confirmation or something?
Not necessarily confirmation, but you know, when you are around right people, you do right things. I'll put it like that. So there are times where you need to do something. I'm a big procrastinator, let me just admit. So you know you will eventually do it, but you keep procrastinating. Sometimes you just need someone around you to put you on your toes to actually get to do it.
Right.
Because what has to be done has to be done.
Okay. So who's your all-time, favorite veteran artist? All-time. So we'd like you to give us, the old and then also the new.
From Ghana, I'll say, well, it has to be Hammer of the last two. I know he's not an artist, but with what Hammer has done with music, of all time, I'll say Hammer. And then we can say Sarkodie. Sarkodie is the greatest musician from Ghana.
Right.
So being a rapper, tapping into that, I'll say Sarkodie is my all-time. Whether old or new, I'll still choose Sarkodie over anyone because Sarkodie is not just a good rapper. He has done so much work.
Right.
And he has represented Ghana on the international stage so much.
Okay.
I think more than anyone else has ever done.
So what genre are you into?
Mainly hip-hop. But I try as much as possible to fuse hip-hop with the Afro sounds. So there's a genre called Afro Swing, which I'd like to champion.
Right.
Yeah.
So how has the journey been so far as a rapper? How is the reception like?
I think the reception is okay. You don't expect everyone to like your music at this stage, but the reception has been great. Since I started doing music, all I've seen is progress. I mean, it's very important to me. Progress is the most important thing to me as an artist. So I wouldn't even say I'm in a rush to just blow up. Right. I'm steadily building my thing. One break a day. So that's it for me. And I'll say the reception has been very good so far. I mean, we've been to places where people didn't quite receive us how we expected them, but it's part of the work.
Yeah. You have to keep moving.
For the most part, music has been great. And then we've had people receive us quite nicely.
Right. So is there anything in the Ghanaian music industry that doesn't sit right with you?
Well, I'll say, from recent experiences, I'll say in music investors, usually, and I won't blame them too much, but I'll say because of experiences a lot of music investors have had in our country, they don't really appreciate the beauty of art. They only look at business. So most of the investors we are having in our space right now are so concerned about how to protect what they are putting into you rather than just... And I mean, it's fair for them because a lot of artists have blown up and then we've heard stories. But I think that's one of the biggest challenges we are having in our music industry right now.
So what do you think they can do to, rectify this?
I think what they are doing is right. It's crazy. It's a problem, but what they are doing is right. So I think artists, the question should be what artists should also do to be on the safer side. Right. But I think
we'll come to that. Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes I feel like sometimes we don't have to be too strict when we are doing business with artists because being a creative comes with a lot. So if investors are coming into our space, as much as they want to protect their investment, they should give artists freedom. They should open the space for artists to be able to be artists. Because it all begins from that. Without the artists, there's no business.
When you say freedom, we'd like to know what are some of the things that you, as an artist, you think, oh, yes, they should allow us to be ourselves. They should allow us We'd like to hear from you.
First of all, I say a lot of investors try to change artists. And a lot of artists want to be who they want to be. But there are a few artists who, because people are investing in them, they feel like, okay, if you are putting this into me and you want me to look like this or to be like this, I'll do it for you.
Right.
How about the artist? The artist has to be the artist. So I think investors should give space for the artist to be the artist. That's what I mean.
Right. So, Patty, over the years, we've had amazing musicians, amazing rappers when it comes to, the music industry, in the likes of Oshame Kwame, Reggie Rexstone, Lord Kenya, like those sort of rappers. What new thing are you bringing on board as, a young creative? What new thing are you, bringing to the table? You are bringing to our screens, you are bringing to our scenes.
So, with the names you mentioned, you could tell that their stories are very authentic.
Very.
They came up from, they grew with the culture. They were the pioneers of the culture. Yeah. So, you see that originality in them. That's what I want to champion. I want to champion originality in music, like authenticity, because a lot of people are not being what they have to be. People go about telling artists choosing sounds that are commercial for artists. We all know the sounds that are going viral in this moment. But I feel like anything is possible. Right. So we need not to limit ourselves to what is the norm.
Okay.
Artists should be able to be authentic and believe in their sounds. But that should not, we shouldn't base on that to just champion sounds that are not authentic. We are Africans, right? I believe in hip-hop so much. And as much as hip-hop is American, hip-hop is African as well, because it's for the blacks.
Right.
It was built in America, but it belongs to the blacks. But aside that, we have our own sound, which is from our own land. So I think we should, as much as I'm a hip-hop artist and I'm a rap artist, I try as much as possible to fuse our local sounds.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I have a song like Only God.
Okay.
You could hear
is it now coming up or
no,
it's already?
It's out.
Okay.
So you could hear the Africa in it. And also my lyrics specifically, I speak.
So can we producer, can we have it, the song is mentioned, can we have it displayed?
Yeah, so while we wait for them, I can continue with my submission, right?
Right.
So with my lyrics, I try to use pidgin. And you see, the thing about
I'm in love with this.
Thank you.
in love, so in love with this.
Thank you.
Who was the
much.
producer?
It's called Kwesi.
Kwesi.
Yes,
Shout out to Kwesi wherever you are.
Yeah.
And what about the beat? Is it the same person that,
Yeah, he did the beat.
Right.
Yeah.
This is so amazing.
Thank you
this is
very
my
much.
favorite. Okay.
I mean, it's a great song from a great place. Yeah, because only God knows how long we've been on this road.
Wow. You must really be, really big on religion. And that's very good.
I'm very big on God.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration
So,
behind the song?
the inspiration behind this song is, like I said, a lot of people think you are not putting in enough work, but sometimes it's about how much you can do.
Right.
But there's so much you do that people don't see too. But then only God knows how much you've been on, how long you've been on this road and how much you've been doing. So
this is deep.
It's about that.
Right. So, Patty, what has been your greatest challenge in your music career so far? Was there ever a time where you woke up and you were like, this is not going for me. I'll just have to, forget about things and then just go with the flow. Has there ever been a time like that?
Yeah, there's been times like that. So
what made you, go back?
Yeah, I'll talk about what made me feel like that and what made me go back.
Sure.
When you start making music, I don't know for other artists, but when you start making music, you think it's very easy until you really get into it. So getting into music, one thing I'll say is that if you're an artist, your friends are not your fans.
Your friends are not your fans?
Yeah. You need to look beyond just your friends and try to make new fans who are people who just know you for music. So when I started making music, I used to be so worried that my friends weren't supportive enough. But then I grew out of that. I had to realize, everybody have their own thing going on. So if this is mine, I need to be crazy about my vision.
All right.
I don't need anyone's validation. I don't need anyone's. Support comes, you take it. But without anyone's help, I should be able to do what I have to do. So I think that was, for the longest time, that had been my only challenge until I realized I had to do me when no one is with me.
Right. So, Patty, how do you see branding when it comes to music?
Yes, I think it's one of the strongest pillars in music. When it comes to making music, a lot of people fall in love with artists not because of their music, but because of how they carry themselves, how they dress, how they speak. Sometimes that is more important than the music, because if it's only with good music, there are a lot of people who make great music who have not attained the heights that people who make whack music have attained. So it all comes down to making the music match the lifestyle. Right. So I think every artist should have a certain message they carry and a certain lifestyle they represent that when your music is heard, is relatable. You don't be the gangster rapper and be fronting God too much, So that's just an example. No, not that wild. But I'm saying your music should match the lifestyle.
Come for you,
Yeah, people shouldn't come for me.
Thank you.
Music has to match the lifestyle.
Right. So now let's come to your right, as a creative. What's your take on intellectual property rights? Because now we live in a world where people will do collaborations, producers will come on board, musicians will come on board, and we hear different stories. I don't want to start mentioning names, but we've heard so many stories.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of
What's
stories.
your take on intellectual property rights as someone in the creative industry?
I believe this issue is very broad, but I believe it all comes down to understanding. So as creatives and as creative investors, no one should ever make assumptions. When you are working with someone, you need to state everything out clearly and agree before you do the work. Because most of the stories we heard are stories of people who are doing business on a boys level. So, here's my guy, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, if you want to do it, you should be
without
ready
thinking about the
without thinking
future
about
outcome.
the future. So if you are going to move like that, you should be ready for what it comes with. But if not, you need to take care of what is yours, because real wealth is intellectual property. If you are going to give your intellectual property out to someone to use, you should just look at it as renting out your house. You get me?
Without any proper documentation.
Yes. So if you have a house or a home you are renting out, treat music like how you are going to treat that, because music or intellectual property in general is just like your house. So if you are going to rent out your house to someone without any agreement or understanding each other properly, then I think you should be able to give your intellectual property out to someone without an agreement. So most of the stories we heard are stories like working with someone without any proper agreement, and then now you are big and you want to go and claim what is not yours.
Right.
Morally, we'll say it's not right, but legally it's right, because you, the artist, didn't make the necessary arrangements to protect your intellectual property when it becomes big. So you deserve what you have worked for, but you don't get it.
Right. So, Patty, as a creative, what measures have you put in place to protect your art? Because this is your intellectual property, right?
Yeah.
This is something, your creativity. So, what measures have you put in place to protect your songs? How have you registered any of them under copyright? And if you have, how has the process been so far?
I think one reason why most artists don't do that is because of the process, especially in our part of the world. Myself, I'm still working on most of the songs I have already released.
Okay.
But on the surface level, I own my masters. I own my masters completely, all of them. And then I'll say most of the features I have done, you learn while you go. Most of the features I have done were features that I did on a boys' voice level. But I've started claiming splits for some of the ones that I can.
Okay.
I mean, you win some and lose some. That's what they say. So those are the basic things I do to protect my intellectual property. But aside that, for some time now, before working with anyone, even if I want to give you everything, then there has to be an agreement.
Okay.
There has to be an agreement.
By word of mouth or documentation?
No, documentation. There has to be an agreement that states that I'm taking the loss.
Okay. So
that in case one day our work is fruitful, I won't come and claim what's yours, or you won't come and claim what's mine. So if I'm giving you, let's say I'm giving you permission to use my music or to use my lyrics, or I'm jumping on a song for you, I need my credits, I need my royalties. So we are going to document that and keep it for the future. One thing I've noticed is that a lot of upcoming musicians are not really big on that, because they feel like they are not big yet. But you need to be prepared for when you are big. Because if you move a certain type of way, it becomes part of you. So if you are not taking whatever you are doing seriously right now...
I really love this submission, especially because I feel like most of the creatives, especially the upcoming ones, they are very, enthused with the idea of, trending or being famous or being popular without, doing the background check of what it entails to own their work. Yeah. So I really like the submission on that. But what changes would you like to see in the Ghanaian music industry, especially in terms of intellectual property rights for these young creatives? What changes would you like to see?
First of all, I think the system itself has to be restructured. If not restructured, if there is a structured system, it should be properly implemented. And also public awareness has to be created. Like these copyright and I think what's our music organ? Gamro. Gamro needs to do a lot of public education. I don't know. They do. They do, but I don't think it's enough.
Right. So Gamro, we are pleading that if you are watching us this morning on Clock TV, you can hear from Patty. As I said, I just hope that Gamro is watching this show this morning, so that they will, put things in place for, our young creatives. So Patty, right now I would like to know, what does rap mean to you?
Rap means a medium of expressing yourself. That's what rap means basically to me, because there's so much you can say with rap that you cannot say in real life. So it feels like the easiest way to express yourself. Just do what you want to do on it. Say what you have to say. So to me, rap just feels like a medium of expressing yourself as an artist.
So is there any new project, any new song, any new rap you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, so I just dropped one of my freestyle tapes. It's called Fast Food Freestyles. So
Take
this is
us
the
away.
second.
Take us away.
The Badness you played.
Yeah,
that's the track one of that project.
Okay.
So it's a 3-track project. Badness, co-parts flow, and then next chapter freestyle. So that's what's on right now.
Okay.
I dropped it last month, but I'm looking to drop a proper EP or maybe an album this year. So we are working on that. We are doing recordings.
Inshallah.
But before that, there are going to
happen.
be a couple of singles.
Okay.
So I'm dropping a single very soon.
Okay. But can we have a freestyle of, your new project?
Yeah, so it's a new beginning. We're still out here in the city just trying to stack up the bread. Double up the city. Life is for the living and you're cool, but we're chilling because trouble never to finish. Don't be tripping. I know it sounds hard. I've been a victim of this trap, but I kept my head up and I kept chasing the bag. I feel like, but I speak fact on the beat. I know the cop because life gives me a lot of stories to tell when I rap.
Clocky. Interesting one. But before you go, we'd like to hear your final words.
So, final words. Since we are talking about beyond the mic with rappers, let's not limit it to only rappers. Let me talk to all creatives. I'll say
Talk to us.
To us as creatives, whether you are a dancer, you are a rapper, you are a visual artist, or whatever you do, you need to learn to put yourself first. And I say putting yourself first, you need to protect whatever you create.
Right.
So with that in mind, you won't look at it as just doing something. You look at it as much as you are doing what you're passionate about, you need to protect whatever you own. So if you won't buy a car and mishandle it, you shouldn't have an intellectual property and mishandle it. That's what I'll say to creatives. And then love going out to everyone that's been supporting us. Big shouts to all the people who have been with us since day one and all the new ones. What I'm going to say is that, which one is my camera?
This is your camera.
Okay,
right
so
there.
let me look straight into my camera. No, I don't think it's this. It's this, right? So let me look straight into my camera and tell all of you that we are going to be big. And 2026 is just the beginning. I used to pray to God for a sign. What I'm seeing now is just a sign. We are just scratching the ground. We are going to be big.
Right. Clock it. As, Mighty's mother will see on TikTok. Right. We thank you so much, Patty, for joining us in the studio. And we heard from Patty amazing conversation, and what he's saying is that young creatives should protect their work, whether you're an artisan, whether you're a visual artist, any creative industry you find yourself, learn to own your work, okay, so that you wouldn't be taken advantage of. So next is life's birthday segment. Let's have it so we get to celebrate some amazing loved ones.
What's your birthday? Today was your birthday.
You're such a beautiful soul, and I'm so grateful to call you my friend. May this new year of your life bring you peace, growth, happiness, and everything your heart secretly prays for. May doors open for you. May your efforts be rewarded, and may you never lack love and support. Cheers to more wins, more laughter. Enjoy your day, Karen. And this is from Damsel, and it says, "The happy birthday to you, my superwoman, my love and my heart. I'm so grateful and proud to have you as my mom. God bless you." This is from Damsel to his mom. And I think this is where we get to wrap up on lifestyle segment. My name is Annabelle Bedin AJB, and thanks for joining us on the show. Next is business with Peter and Sia. Do stay tuned. And I want to tell you that my lovely outfit was from Zoos and Needles. You can, find them on social media as Zoos and Needles. They're located at Nungwa. Thank you so much, Angie, for this lovely outfit.
Hello there, good morning to you and welcome. This is the Business Update segment on the Koko Digest Morning Show. I am Peter Nsia. Now to our stories. The Minister for Finance, Dr. Kaseo Atuforsen, has presented the Value for Money Office Bill to Parliament of Ghana, describing it as a major step towards fixing long-standing inefficiencies in the public spending. Speaking on the floor of Parliament, Dr. Forsen said the bill is designed to tackle problems such as inflated contracts, abandoned projects, cost overruns, and wasteful expenditure.
The proposed law seeks to ensure that every cedi spent by government delivers real value through improved efficiency, accountability, and sustainability. He explained that the Value for Money Office will operate as an independent oversight body responsible for assessing major public projects, issuing mandatory value for money certificates before contracts are awarded, monitoring compliance, and applying sanctions where necessary. According to the minister, the initiative will strengthen fiscal discipline, reduce waste, curb contract inflation, and improve public confidence in government spending. He added that the bill aligns Ghana with international best practices and is expected to improve the quality of public projects while ensuring better use of public resources.
The Value for Money Office Bill seeks to address chronic inefficiencies in the public financial management system, particularly those arising from inflated contracts, abandoned projects, cost overrun, and wasteful spending. By institutionalizing a value for money framework, this bill aims to ensure that every cedi spent by the government delivers the maximum possible benefit to citizens in terms of economy, efficiency, effectiveness, equity, and sustainability. Furthermore, the establishment of the Value for Money Office will create a specialized and independent oversight institutions with the technical mandate to conduct value for money assessment, issue value for money certificates before major contracts are awarded, monitor compliance, and ensure sanctions where violations occur. The overarching objective is to ensure fiscal discipline, reduce waste, promote public confidence, and strengthen the governance and accountability architecture of the country.
Away from that story, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, Duncan Amoah, has urged government to fast-track the second phase of the Ghana gas processing plant, saying the expansion is key to boosting gas production and achieving full self-reliance. He made the call during a 2-day familiarization visit by the civil society groups to the facility in the Western region, their first stall since operations began in 2014.
We're buying a lot of gas from Nigeria. You recall the West African gas pipeline. There will be times you owe them and they have to turn off the valve and you don't get the gas and the country goes into, doomsday. From what you see here, Ghana is now processing its own gas. It's able to feed the thermal plants. It is able to keep these thermal plants running. And the good thing is that even if you owe Ghana gas, which I know the power sector owes them a lot, they do not turn off the valve. And so one way or the other, you're becoming quite secured. So this has become a game changer. Then again, you also have a situation where LPG that we used to import 100%, Ghana gas is now able to also deliver about 50% of your current market demand. If you put these together, strategy-wise, it's become a game changer. So you would need the Train 2 or the GPP2 to come on stream so that it can add a lot more. I will be happy that we become LPG self-reliant, that we don't even have to import LPG at all. At present, what Ghana gas delivers, we still import some from Europe to augment.
Mr. Amoah said completing the phase 2 would reduce Ghana's dependency on imported LPG, strengthen the power sector, and ensure long-term energy security, calling on authorities to expedite the projects within the next 12 to 24 months.
If you're able to finish the Train 2, chances are that you can be able to take over the 100% market without going to other places to import LPG. What that would also mean to the power sector is that you would have a lot more for the thermal generation. And so we are pleading that whatever support the authorities or government would provide to expedite the coming on stream of the train 2, we want to see it done within the next 12, maximum 24 months. Because the longer you delay, you are just throwing away money. We will still be importing from West African gas, will still be importing from Europe, Dubai.
Says it is awaiting cabinet approval of a technical report on phase 2. Once approved, the project will expand transmission infrastructure, establish regional substations, and improve gas supply for industrial and power generation needs. Let's now turn our attention to the Institute of Economic Research and Public Policy has cautioned that the government's decision to cut the cocoa producer price from 3,625 Ghana cedis to 2,587 Ghana cedis could threaten both the economy and the national security. In a statement signed by its executive director, Isaac Boadi, the institute said cocoa farmers have rejected the price reduction, warning that it could discourage farming, lead to job losses, and push some farmers to abandon their farms.
IERPP noted that over 1 million people depend directly on the cocoa sector and warned that declining farmer interest could weaken a key pillar of Ghana's economy. It also raised concern that smuggling farmers may turn to illegal mining, worsening existing environmental challenges. The institute is urging governments to urgently reconsider the decision and restore the previous producer price to protect the cocoa industry and avoid border economy and social risks.
And that's all we have for you on the Business Update segment. Thank you for staying with us. I am Peter Insia. Up next is the main segment with Nanaya Wasari. Stay tuned.
Let me take us to church. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 says that love is patient, love is kind. Love does not envy, or is not arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Today we'll be talking about love and where it begins from. You say charity begins at home. Does it really begin at home? Our topic for today is love begins at home, strengthening the parent-child bond. And to help me do this particular conversation is none other than Pastor Mrs. Abrahams Appiah. And she's known for guiding young people towards purposeful living, helping them navigate identity, career stability, and relationship decisions. A pastor at the King's General International Church and the mission director of the Holy Worldwide Revival Missions. She serves alongside her husband, Pastor Eric Abrahams Appiah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. Whenever I see you, I get inspired and I get very happy because a lot of people don't know on this particular show, but you are one of the people that helped shape me up in terms of values when I was growing up. I remember when I was young, around 7 years old, way back in Sunday school, you were one of our Sunday school teachers.
Thank you.
I'm just putting it out there.
What a privilege. Thank you. And you've turned out to be a great young man.
Thank you very
We are
much.
also proud of you.
Thank you very much. Yes, so they say charity begins at home, but today we're asking a deeper question. Does love truly begin at home anymore? In a time where teenage pregnancy is rising, broken homes are increasing, and children are growing up emotionally disconnected, maybe the real crisis is not outside. Maybe it starts inside the home. And we'll be talking about that. So, what do you think? Let's tackle it from the foundations. We are talking about love begins at home, strengthening the parent-child bond. What is a strong bond in terms of a family setting?
What's a strong bond in terms of a family setting? So, you are talking of strengthening the parent-child bond. When we talk of the bond, it could be the forces that glue these parents and children together. And in this case, it is the relationship, it is the love, it is the connection, it is the synergy. Parent-child environments are basically those environments where that child gets to be nurtured, that child gets to get values transmitted to them, develops their philosophies, concepts of life. They are able to bloom and become who God wants them to be. Now, the bond that exists between parent and child usually starts right from the womb between the mother and the baby. So right in the womb, there's a bond that is formed. When a mother speaks to a child, the father speaks, you would realize that that child is already forming a bond. When you scream, when you cry, that child is developing a bond. And when that child is born, that environment, the things you say, the things you don't say, the things you do, the things you don't do. So those bonds are formed deliberately, intentionally, consciously, unconsciously, and they become a part of that child's life forever, whether you agree or you don't agree. The way the baby is fed, the mother is feeding the baby and cooing, handsome, beautiful. All those things are part of the bonding. The father comes, he carries the baby. And so these bonds are formed right from pregnancy all the way to adulthood. So it is a continuous, conscious or unconscious process.
So we are actually getting an insight of the fact that the parent-child bond begins before even the child is born. It begins right from conception.
Right from conception.
All the way through the pregnancy period. And,
yes.
That's a good one. But when the child grows, now what we are actually thinking is that a father might say that if I provide school fees, if I provide food, I know that I love you. But is it enough to sustain that kind of a bond?
Wonderful. So parents should understand that we have roles and responsibilities. The day you have a child, right from the womb, that child becomes a responsibility, and that home setting is where that responsibility has to be fulfilled. So taking your child to school is part of your responsibility. The type of school you choose, that one is your choice, because there are varied schools and what exactly you want the child to turn out. But it's not just food and it's not just money that makes a total child. It's presence, it's love, It's love communicated in different ways. Love can be communicated by the sacrifice. Love can be communicated by the actions. Your child comes, you hug the child. You may not hug, touch the child. You look into the child's eye. You see the child is not happy or overly excited. You ask questions. You eat with the child. You lie on the floor. The child lies on you. All these actions are part of communicating love. So it is sacrifice. It is a nurturing process. It's a way of life. Your child sees daddy goes and comes. Daddy is trying to make ends meet. That is communicating responsibility, love. So the things we say, the things we do, the places we take them to. Do you know you don't remember the food you ate when you were 6 years?
Yeah, that's true.
But you will remember any memory that was created at 6 years. You have remembered your Sunday school teacher at 6, 7 years as a memory.
Yes.
And those are the things that children remember. So what are the memories as parents we are creating for our children? Memories in time of prayer time together, outing time together, doing homework together. So it is not just money, it's not just food, but it is your availability, it is your intentionality, it is your consistency in the things you do, how the child is made to feel. You pay the school fees and you're always insulting the child. Can you see how your head looks? You are not good at all. You are good for nothing. That money cannot compensate for the emotional wounds and scars you have created by those words. But affirmation, constant presence, prayer, love, a dad and a child playing football together, those are the things that children will never forget.
That's quite interesting. But in your submissions, you kept on mentioning presence. Now, I want to take it from this particular perspective. There are certain parents that are present physically, but are emotionally absent, and it also takes a toll on the child. I want you to talk about that a little.
Very, very important. When we talk of being present, it's not just your physical being. In fact, sometimes your physical presence is scary because when they see you, we all want to hide. Yeah. We want you to be there in the space, but we want you to be available. So we should be able to come and talk to you. Daddy, my homework, can you help me? And I'm like, no. I remember, I think just today somebody was asking me something in line with government. And I was like, you know something, change the topic. Find another topic that I'm more comfortable with. And they all laughed because they know that certain topics don't come easily to me as other topics. Present, your availability, look into your child's eye. Let your child feel the connection. Today you find many homes where the parents are available, mother, father in this case. The mom is on their phone, the father is on the phone, or the father is on TV, and the mom is on a call, and the children want someone to talk to, and they don't have it. A young boy said in senior high, he said, I saw him and he looked absent. And I said, sit down, let's talk. What's going on? And we talked for just 5 minutes. That talk where he knew he had my ears, I was looking at him, he could feel my heart was beating for whatever he wanted to say. And after he looked at me and said, Mommy, this is all I wanted. I've been wanting this from my mother. She's not available. Yet the mother is always there. She's on her phone, she's doing something, she's working, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's providing. She's doing everything she thinks her children need. But that presence that the child wanted most was not available. So don't just be in the house, but be there for the child. And don't be there in your state of unrest or problem. Because mothers, fathers are feeling overwhelmed with the responsibilities, with the needs that they have to meet. So they may be there and be like, oh, people are talking too much, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. Oh, later. I'm not okay. So the child always feels like, you know something, she's there, but she's there with her problems. She's there in her own world. So you could be in the space, but you're absent. So they need us present.
That's very good. So good. Now let's juxtapose these two positions. You talked about the responsibility of parents in terms of making ends meet and making sure that the family keeps running. And then we also talk about the parents being physically and emotionally present as well. So now, when you juxtapose the two, what would you say are the biggest mistakes that contemporary Ghanaian parents make?
I may not have statistics to back it, but on a general front, what we can say is many parents, maybe not just Ghanaians, all over, many parents, because of the economic needs, number one. Two, there's a lot of pressure trying to fit in. Many people have set certain models and standards for themselves that require a certain amount of financial to back that life they want to live. And so it takes them away from home for hours, even those who work at home, to be able to make those ends meet. And so in order to fulfill those responsibilities, they need more time away to be able to get those things, to give their children the comfortable life they didn't have, to give their families the future that they feel it is ideal. But in doing that, they now become absent in the sense that they are tired, they are overworked, they are overstretched. Remember, there was a generation 30, 40 years ago where parents, especially maybe the female parent, was usually a nurse, a teacher, because they chose careers that gave them extra time for the home. And then the father could be busy, or it could be the other way around. But now both careers are becoming more time involving. And so it's taking more people away from the home. They are more comfortable in terms of good homes, air-conditioned cars, and everything. But there's not enough time to supervise the growth of these children, be available to give them that emotional support. So there's a lot more detachment between parents and child in the current generation. So many children are growing up with tablets, with a TV, with house helps, and they are losing the parent-child bonds. We see it on the field. We see it as we work. Many problems that come to us in counseling fields are usually home problems that are transmitted to schools, are transmitted to the tertiary institutions because there was an absent parent. Present but absent. Money, but that's not what they needed. Because you gave them money and they don't know how to manage even that money. They don't have the independent skills. They are not sure of themselves. They had either too much love or too little of it. And what I'm saying too much love may not even be too much love. They had attention. They had comfort. They had pampering. And that's not too much good love. That's maybe too much of ease, which eventually has become a disease.
Too much of ease eventually becoming a disease. Now, let me take this from one of the effects. Let's tackle this from one of the effects of not being enough parent-child bond. A lot of people say that the kids often go out, especially teenagers, in search for validation, and then they end up having a lot of these teenage pregnancies and other social vices. Now, broken homes as a result of that. So let's take it from the angle of broken homes. Are broken homes also always as a result caused by poverty or its emotional absence as well?
Broken homes are caused by so many things. But looking at the parent-child bond question that you asked, you see, children need a lot of things to make them whole, right from birth, when they are born, the way they are fed, feeding well, underfeeding, when they are spoken to, loving, not being loved enough. So back to the word you use, validation. Do they feel cared for? Do they feel trusted? Do they feel cheered on? When they don't get that, and they need it so much, they step out of the home in search of it. You know, a lot of children who are supposedly rebellious are actually not rebellious. They are just making a statement. They are desperate for something, and they manifest it in forms of rebellion, because all they may have needed was a father figure or a mother figure in their lives, and they didn't get it. So when children don't get that validation growing up, they become dysfunctional, they become unhealthy. Now, when they become unhealthy, they go in search of love because a young boy promised her, I love you, I'll give you a phone. And today every young girl wants a phone, and it must be a particular brand of phone. And you are wondering, why the phone? It's not about the phone. It's just about the sense of somebody gave me something. And that results now in they go get pregnant, they have a child out of wedlock, then this whole broken home syndrome starts. Father separated, mother separated. And once the homes are broken, you realize that the cycle continues because the child grows up in a dysfunctional system, just with either the father or just with either the mom. And then thank God for the good single parents out there. Shout out to all of them. Some are doing a healthy job, keeping a good balance. But others are struggling because they themselves, they lacked that environment of love. And because of that, the cycle is repeated. That dysfunctionality is repeated. And so we need to be able to help parents understand that, put in your best, and then create support systems and environments. Even if you're a single parent, make sure that that child maybe goes to church, he has youth groups, he has healthy families around. That's why the communal system that we used to have was excellent. Because even those who didn't have fathers, there's an uncle nearby who stops you from misbehaving. So you see, then we may not even have realized who really trained the child, because there was always a voice. Daddy went to work, but there's an uncle nearby and there's a grandpa watching. So there was always a voice straightening the child. And that's why they'll tell you it takes a community to raise a child. But when we grew up and we decided to be very independent and we are isolated, now we realize that the walls can't raise our children for us. They only listen and they re-echo what we said. And so now our children are growing up without that enough love. There's no replacement. The dysfunctionality is continuing. The broken homes are increasing and they are repeating the cycles.
We'll come to how we end the cycle, but let's now talk about what some parents call discipline. You remember, some parents will tell you that I walked 7 miles to school. Maybe that's an overthought. But some parents say I walked this particular distance to school, so you too, you should learn how to walk this particular distance to school. My parents used to beat me with belts and all that when I went wrong. So even me lashing you with a cane is even an understatement. So when they say that there's this notion that I suffered as a child, so you should also suffer, are they actually disciplining the child or they are passing on trauma?
This one is not disciplinatory. This is passing on trauma, or this is dysfunctionality being repeated. Now, they grew up in environments where that was the availability of knowledge to their parents at that time. That was the availability of the systems that existed at that time. In the case of you going to school, they didn't have public bus systems, most of those families. They didn't have the luxuries of personal cars. Going to school communally and walking distances was normal. I walked to school, but it was so close by my home. I remember growing up as a child. And all of us as teachers' children, we walked together to school, and it was not more than a mile or 2 miles. It was a happy walk in and out. But today, children's parents take them in cars to the same distance schools. And in my mind, I'm like, how are they sending children to schools where we walk? Now, times have changed. Security, in terms of security, in terms of timing. We used to go to school, we'll break at 12, we'll come home and sleep or eat and go back to school in the afternoon. Things cannot come on like that. So if you said that our generation did this, and you must do this, or you are lucky. Sincerely, we are not lucky. We are just in a new generation. In your generation, they use typewriters. Why are you using the phones of our generation? So if I was a child, that's what I'll tell my father. But, well, because you are using the technology.
That would be a valid response, though.
No, that would be disrespect.
Because if you are telling me to walk 3 miles to school because you walk 3 miles, then still use the typewriter that's there.
That's your generation. But that would be disrespect, but just for us to think through it. So you have to recognize that the systems have changed. So what was punishment for you, and when you were doing it, was not punishment for you. It It was a way of life.
Yes.
So now our way of life has changed. So if you want us to use typewriters, then it's punishment for us. So repeating that to us means that you, the parent, are still fixated. You're still in your generation, forgetting that things have changed. You want to use certain systems without changing to make sure that the systems works for you. So no, that's not fair. You must, discipline is discipline. What is discipline? A system of principles and laws which guide a child for growing. So for example, let's say the child can definitely walk, let's say a distance from here to maybe the stadium, and you feel that the child should be able to do that. Yes, for exercise, why not? And yes, if it is a safe zone, why not? So you explain to the child more of, you are doing this because I want you to maintain a healthy exercise regime and go to school and back. Or you are disciplining the child in terms of time to wake up, time to eat, time to sleep, quantity to eat. Those are different things. But it shouldn't be comparative. We can't compare two generations that are like 40 years apart. Systems and everything have changed.
That's an interesting one. Systems and everything has changed. You can also join in this particular conversation by texting us on WhatsApp 050-050-0421. You can ask Madam Hannah every question at all that you want to ask, and she'll be kind enough to answer them for you. There's one question over here. This one says, great discussion. I salute you, Madam Hannah. To my question, at what age should parents intentionally start building emotional connection? This is Adjoa Afo from Kumasi.
Parents need to start building right from pregnancy. Right from pregnancy. And when the child is born, you speak to that child. The children have the ability to hear and continue. I'm repeating, continue, because what happens is, have you noticed when babies are born, parents pick them and they give the child a lot of kiss, they hug the baby. You know why? They are expressing their affection genuinely, and those children can't express it back. When the children start growing, then they start separating from that child. The father never expresses that emotion he speaks to the baby. Then the child starts feeling like, this child, I remember in my subconscious I used to be loved, but now it's not showing. And then by the time the child gets to a teenage, where puberty, she's developing breast hips, then the father at most, hello, how are you? How was your day? And that's it. And the child feels there's a disconnection. She feels there's no emotional connection. It's not being expressed. And that's the need, because at that time, they need that more. They need somebody to tell them, I love you. They need someone to tell them, I trust you. They need someone to look into their eyes and say, my daughter, you're a beautiful girl. I want God to preserve you to marriage. But then, at that point, parents are shy. It's more like a taboo in our culture. It feels more like a weakness to express love to your child. And so most parents will not tell their child, I love you. Go to many homes and ask, do your parents say I love you? It sounds so weird to a certain generation. Maybe your generation, you may be hearing that. But if you go to our generation, many parents, I love you. It sounds like...
It's a sign of weakness.
Yeah, it's a sign of weakness, or like, which one is I love you? Taking care of you, what I love you to. They are not used to it. So even when they go get married and somebody tells them I love you, it's either excess or suspicious. It's more like, are you serious? Where did that come from? They are not used to it.
All right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Interesting submissions there. I'm sure the person who sent that particular message has their questions answered. That is Adjoa Afo from Kumasi. This one is also coming from Mr. Kwatin from Chadu.
Okay.
He says that, God bless you. How I wish my wife would be here to listen to this wonderful conversation. My first question is, how can busy working parents still create strong bonds with their children? And to my second question, can too much discipline weaken the parent-child relationship?
Okay. So how can too much discipline weaken the parent-child bond? Is that it?
The first question was, how can busy working parents still create strong bonds with their children?
Busy working parents can easily create strong bonds with their children by making sure that the little time you spend with them are quality and memorable. Always think about memories. Even if it's homework, there's a way you do it with the child that gives a child a sense of excitement each time that he gives them. If the child does well, a high five, an appreciation, a prayer, something between you and the child, which the child knows that, oh my God, Daddy will do this with me. And because of that, that child is excited every time. Make your coming home welcoming. Let the children look forward to seeing Daddy come home or Mommy come home. Spend time with them, maybe prayer, 30 seconds. Talk. How was your day? I mean, I like asking my children, what's the gist going on? Gist me. Tell me what's up. I want to know what's happened. They'll be like, oh, there's nothing. I'm like, are you sure there's nothing? I'm like, no, tell me. Okay, anything about anything. It could be about anything, or you go and pull a topic of interest. And then they start telling you, hey, this thing happened in this school. And I'm like, really? It's not about the situation. It's just about the conversation. So busy working parents, no matter how busy we are, we still have an hour, 2 or 3 to ourselves. Either in the morning, a little time, in the evening, a little time. That little time should be meaningful. Your child should even wake up at night and see Daddy in his room, laying hands, praying for them. Those things you think look like insignificant may be so meaningful to that child.
That's a good one. And
then the second one about discipline.
Can too much discipline weaken the parent-child relationship?
Oh, yes, it does. Especially if the discipline is not clear and is over-exaggerated, too much of it. I'm using personal story. Remember when my daughter was very young, maybe 6 years, I can't remember what she did, but I caned her, and I think I caned her too much. And that child stood up to me and said, Mommy, it is too much. It's too much. That thing scarred me. And I sat back and I was like, how did she challenge? But it was too much. And so I became mindful that why, first and foremost, why was I beating her? So today I can't even remember what she did wrong, why I even beat her. You know, sometimes we go overboard, and it's because of our emotions, it's because of the spur of the moment, not carefully thinking through whatever discipline. Why are you disciplining the child? To help the child develop routines and to be able to live independently eventually. But many times we put our frustrations, we put our pain, we put our anger, transfer issues onto the child. And it can weaken the parent-child bond. So the children may not like you because I'm going to watch TV, Daddy's coming to say this. If I do this, the child will say this. I remember there was a day we were doing an activity with children, and one child, was it 4 years or 3 years, broke an egg. Then we burst out laughing. And we all laughed about it. And in my mind, I was like, this same egg, another child will break it and they'll cane the child. And how much is egg? Have you thought about it? Egg is less than 1 cedi. Or now it is. I think now it's 2 cedi. But then it used to be 50 pesos. I still remember that case. And I was like, is it worth beating a child over 2 cedi 50 pesos? But can you imagine a home where you tell a child, then they'll break the egg, even by mistake, and you are caning a child for 10 strokes because of 2 cedi 50 pesos, which you can easily buy. It doesn't match. So a lot of discipline, if you look at it, it's not weighted. Discipline for, the teacher said you came to school late, you didn't do your homework. So why are you disciplining? What are you disciplining for? Give the discipline that matches the punishment. And under discipline also creates problem. So be careful with that.
Also, under discipline creates a problem. This takes me to the next question. More and more people are sending in their questions. This one says that, good morning, Auntie Hannah. What are healthier alternatives to harsh punishments? Because my nephews are very, very stubborn. This is coming from Mrs. Ajay from Spintech.
Nephews are very stubborn. Please, they are not stubborn. You just need to learn how to handle them. I'm just being deliberate because you see the words we use affect these children consciously and unconsciously. Now, the children that we are having these days, because of the method of learning, the things they're exposed to, a lot of them are very hyper. A lot of them have busy minds. So alternatives to harsh discipline, one, speak to those children. Have intentional meetings with them. One thing I tell teachers and tell parents, that children listen. And they push the limits. And they know where they should go and not go. And so the children sometimes are used to become law to themselves. So use different methods for every child. So for example, a child that doesn't seem to listen may definitely like something. I had a child who liked going out. Let out in the sense of we are going to the mall, we are going to town. She wants to go. The punishment that used to affect her is when you leave her behind. So when she does something wrong, I wouldn't pick a cane, but I'll plan a mall visit and make sure she won't go. And that will affect her so much and cause her to do the right thing. So find alternate disciplines. For example, if you're using the corporal punishment system of caning and you keep doing it, the child develops a thick skin and makes up his mind. The worst you do is cane me, so do your worst. I will repeat it because now I'm used to it. Then you've lost the essence of caning because it's no longer serving as a discipline tool. It has rather become a challenge system. So he develops a toughness to it, a resistance. So talk to them and then think about the child, his strengths, his weaknesses, and find out something that you can use either to help him or something that you can use to correct him. There are children who, as simple as make them the leader or give them responsibility. Usually the stubborn children give them responsibility. Or for the others. They change. They love to be in charge. So since I am now responsible for reporting everybody, everybody will comply. They are good at it.
This particular one, the messages keep coming in, but this particular one, I'm sure will be maybe one of the last ones. This is coming from Veronica Accra. Yes, thank you so much. Timely conversation. I'm enjoying every bit of it, Pastor. It's so true. Now the 10 minutes prayer before bedtime has become a moment we all look forward to, and they take turns in leading now, even the 3-year-old. This is coming from Veronica.
Veronica, well done. God bless you.
There's also this one. Okay, I think I've read this particular one. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent, but I'll just ask a few questions before we go. So, what can parents do today? If a parent is watching right now and realizes that they've been distant, they've been practically unavailable, emotionally absent from their child's life, what can they do now to sort of curb that?
Relationships are intentionally created, and at any stage in time, you can create a relationship. Parents, before you married your wife or your spouse, you went out to find the person. So find your child. Try to bridge that gap by the little things. Call the child and ask him, can we talk? The child will find it weird, especially if it's something you've not done. But by the time you keep doing that, you realize that the child will start opening up, start doing things together. Let's wash your school dresses together. That 5 minutes of sitting to wash, they may laugh because they may never have seen you doing it. Or they've never, but they'll start realizing, oh, Daddy is doing things with us. Let's hang clothes on the line together. Create activities together. Fry an egg together. Be in the kitchen together. Clean together. Take a walk. Today, that's even one of the easiest things you can do. Sporting activity. Who can walk faster than Daddy? I remember I wanted to spend more time with my daughter. I said, follow me to the pool. I swim as my exercise. And so I said, let's go and learn. She plays tennis. She's okay. She has a sport. But just to create extra time. So now we are in the same space. We are in the same environment to do something. What can you do with the child together? Make it something that it becomes consistent pattern. And then talking, praying, winning the child over, making the child your friend, texting. There was a man who wanted to spend more time with his children. You know what he did? He actually bought phones just so that he could text his children on WhatsApp. In fact, they could be in the same space and they're just texting and they'll be laughing and everybody wondering what's wrong with them. He said, I'll rather do it with them than allow them to do it with another person. So he'll send emojis to his children, they'll send it back and they'll be laughing that, oh, that is interesting.
That's so good. All too soon, time is fast.
Wow.
And, it's gone by, they say time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah.
This one says, I'm going to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
Yes. When you were teaching us as children, what was going through you that made you invest so much emotionally?
Oh, wow. When I was teaching children Sunday school, and I still do, one thing that has been my guiding principle is when I see a child, I see tomorrow. I see greatness. I see future. And I think God has just engraced me with that gift of empathy towards the young ones. So I genuinely love the children I teach, and I genuinely want to see them do well. So I put in a lot, in fact, a lot more than I should, in terms of love, in terms of time, in terms of prayer, in terms of resources. And truthfully, all my children have turned out well. I'm glad about that.
Yes. Thank you very much. And you may not know this, but your investment has shaped myself and a lot of people to be maybe where we are going and who we are now.
Wow.
I want to say, on behalf of everyone that you've taught, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yes, God
Thank
bless you.
you. Thank you so much, and thanks for the encouragement. That keeps me smiling and knowing that it's a privilege to have been Teacher Hannah. Some call me Pastor Hannah, but I prefer Teacher Hannah.
Yes. And then also, before we go, you're an author as well. You've written quite a number of books.
Yeah.
So if you can just bring some to bear for us.
Oh, okay. So in this month of love, I always talk about my 3 books of relationship. Get it right. Marriage is not a game of chance. Then my other book, what do you call it? Hurricane Love. It's a book on net relationships, challenges, and how to navigate it. And then Wedding Bells, in case you are yet to get married. These are 3 books that are very beneficial. There's a 20% discount I'm giving because it's the month of love for anybody who wants. You can call 054-706-4982 for them. You can also...
Can you give the number again?
054-706-4982.
Okay.
You can also go to seller.com and just click Hannah Abraham Sapir. You can get access to some of my books free. You have Making the Most of Your University Experience. It's a book for university tertiary students. You can download a readable copy for free. You can get It's Never Late also for free. And you can also get Young and Single for free.
All right. So among some of the books that you've mentioned, we know you've authored quite a lot, but some of our favorites are Throwback, The Effect of Our Yesterdays on Our Tomorrows. We have Get It Right, which you mentioned. We have Stages. We have Identity Theft, and then we have Young and Single. We have It Is Never Late, and then recent specialty titles as some are Hurricane Love, just as you mentioned, Things I Wish I Knew Before I Went on Missions, and Grandpa and Kofi's Adventures. Interesting stories. So please, you can also text us in the studios here. You can text Clock TV. We'll be able to direct you where you'll be able to get the book 0500500421. And if you want any of Madam or Auntie Hannah Abraham Sapir's books, will be able to direct you on how to get them. So now, in conclusion, do you want to say anything?
In conclusion, I want to say that children are gifts God has given to us, and it's a privilege to be able to invest and nurture these children. And it's only for a season, because by the time they transition to independence, they would have left us. So we can only monitor from afar. Let's be intentional about building bonds with them. Even if we didn't have it, let's learn to correct the dysfunctionality. Our parents did the best they could, but we should do better than they did. Thank you.
We should indeed do better than they did. We end by saying, if love truly begins at home, then healing must also begin at home. Maybe the future of our nation is not decided in Parliament, but in our homes. We'll round that up over here. Up next, we'll still have some discussions on the State of Nations address. We'll see you soon. Yes, we are back. You're still on your favorite morning show, the Koko Digest Morning Show. It's time for us to talk about the State of Nations address, which is actually coming up tomorrow. President John Dramani Mahama will be delivering his address on the State of the Nation tomorrow. By this time, we'll be hearing some of the things that he's done, some of the things that the challenges that he's been able to surmount, and some of the things that he hopes to do at the end of his particular tenure or at the end of the particular year. And then now we have Clementi Abankwe with us back in the studios alongside my very, very good and honorable friend, Peter. Today, he's not actually going for any meeting. He's been honorable enough and he's been kind enough to stay with us till the end of the show. But Clement is someone that we have to really talk about because this morning he was absent. So Clement, if you don't mind telling us what happened this morning, because usually you're always here.
Yeah. Nana, I think viewers could attest that I'm always around. But this morning I was engaged in one or two things. That is the reason why I need to come at this time.
Okay. If you want to know what Clement was engaged in, you can actually text us on WhatsApp 050-050-042 and any other particular thing that you want to know. So I'll start with you since you decided to desert us this morning. What is the State of Nations address about? Just tell us an overview.
So once again, good morning to viewers. And I think this morning I was watching a very wonderful discussion. And the State of Nations address is a constitutional mandate, and it's mandated for every president to give. That is in your year, at least it should be within the first 2 months of the year or the first 3 months of the year. We expect you to give. It's according to the Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution, give the president the mandate that come tell us what is happening in the economy, come tell us the way forward in the economy or the country, and come give us what you've done so far. So when you assume office, what have you done over the period? So when you take out President John Dramani Mahama, he has assumed office since 7 January 2025. So for the past of 2025, what has he done? That is what is come to account to Ghanaians. He's going to tell us the challenges that he's going through in his office and the way forward. Even before we move into that, we know that last year he did it on 27th of February 2025. Yeah. And this time around too, it's 27th of February 2026. So there is a question that why is President John Dramani Mahama choosing 27th of February as a day for the State of Nations address?
Coincidence, or it's just...
For me, I don't see it to be a coincidence because in last year his presentation, I wanted to quote him, but I'll get to that particular paragraph. He said that they are doing this, and the next day is 28, and 28 talks in our history. It talks about the fallen heroes. As in the 90s, we had an incident that on 28th February, some great men fall as a result of some incident that happened. So last year he did that and remembered them. And I know that is exactly one might be the reason why he's also doing it this time around, to remember the 28 fallen heroes that died some years ago. So it's not a coincidence, but we are yet to see that in 2026, is it going to happen, or 2027 actually, is it going to happen in the same manner, or maybe it's going to change? If it happens in the same manner, it means that the president is taking a particular pattern. And if that pattern remains, does it mean that the next president coming will also go to that same pattern, or it will just change? That is the issues we are beginning to ask. But the reason why viewers need to take State of Nations address very, very necessary is not just that the president is just come to sit or go to Parliament House and just speak to the members of Parliament or ministers of state. No, he's addressing the whole country. We need to find out, even though, for example, issue of cocoa sector, even though we've been briefed from the Ministry of Finance, the happenings in cocoa sector, in last statement or State of Nations address, the president talked about the cocoa sector at Parliament. And this time around, so there's an issue. So we expect to see that apart from the emergency cabinet meeting that they had, apart from the brief that Ministry of Finance came to give, what is the other way forward? Some of them are calling for there should be more cutting in the expenditure in the cocoa sector. Is the president going to talk about it? We have the issue of the Burkina and the Ghana, the issue of the tourist attack. In terms of tomato, the importation of tomato, is president going to talk about that sector? We have issue of now the electricity tariff. you buy 100 cedis, and people are saying that they can't actually consume
about that.
So,
there are some developments on that.
Exactly.
The 1.5 billion cedis that the people actually paid in excess for purchasing tariffs.
Sure. These are more things that people would expect. And there are, Nana, the major issue is the 24-hour economy. It was one of the main reasons why actually the NDC won power. Even though we know that by the grace of the Lord, the bill he has signed into it. It has become a bill and is now going to work but how is it going to do? Yeah. Is it going to take the whole year? Or what is the time frame? So this and many more are the things that Ghanaians will be willing to hear, God willing, tomorrow.
This and many more indeed are what Ghanaians will be willing to hear tomorrow. Also, Peter Kojo is here in the studio with me. You can also send in your text, your comment 0500500421 on WhatsApp, and we'll be kind enough to read for you. Clement made mention of 28 February, and in Ghana's history, maybe its significance has to be brought to bear. If you remember 28 February 1948, the famous Christiansborg Castle Crossroads shooting, where World War II veterans Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Tipo, and Private Odate were shot while peacefully demanding their rightful benefits from serving the British government, or from serving the British military during the Second World War. This courage has ignited national awakening and ultimately paved the way for Ghana's independence. So this particular day is very significant. So if President John Dramani Mahama initially thought that last year it was on a Friday, that it was on a Thursday actually. So if he's actually choosing the same day twice, then it definitely has significance that he wants to maybe highlight for the nation. Peter, I also want to take your fair reflections of the State of Nations address.
Exactly. But before I go to that tangent, when you were asking Clement where he was, it reminded me of a question my grandmother asked me. That recently she has not been hearing of Akwesi Peter. Then I asked, who is Akwesi Peter? So per her explanation, I realized that she was talking about the special prosecutor. So this morning, Clement was the Akwesi Peter we were looking for. Anyways,
today you answer for your crimes. We'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, so so State of the Nation address. Ghanaians are waiting for pertinent issues to be discussed, and Clement has made mention of a few of them. And then I would like to touch on an aspect that most Ghanaians are eagerly to hear what the president has to say about it, especially now our transport system. And then there's the IMF, the state of IMF. Right now, this government is saying that after we are done with the last bailout, we are going to opt out of IMF. Now, looking at our economic situation currently, it looks as though it is not going to be possible. Looking at our debts and then the economy currently, and then even taking a look at our cocoa crisis and what have you. So Ghanaians want to know or hear from the president the way forward as to whether we are going to opt out and still be independent, or what is
June 2026.
Exactly. What is the way forward? And then we can't also talk without talking about the transport issue currently we are talking about, and the stability of the economy, the cedi, and what have you. And then we can't talk.
But the cedi has been stable for some time, though, not to cut you.
It kind of fluctuated.
It's been in and around a certain particular region.
Exactly. But the movers and shakers of the economy, that is the informal sector. When you go to the marketplace, the market women, they contribute a lot to the economy. And then reports indicate that they say currently people are not buying, even though they've reduced the prices of their goods, but people are not buying. So what it means is that people do not have money in their pockets. But on paper, the economy is doing very well. Inflation has gone down. The cedi is actually depreciating. The exchange rate, everything. But the real impact of the economy is not being felt by the ordinary Ghanaian, and that is according to report. And so Ghanaians are looking forward to what the government or the president has to say about that. And also the health sector. Currently, there's been so many things, in relation to the health sector, from, tools, chip compounds, infrastructure, and what have you. And so Ghanaians are expecting the president to actually touch on that aspect as well. But the most pertinent one is currently the unemployment rate, job creation. as Clement said, the 24-hour economy was a driving force that actually dictated the winner of the 2024 elections. And that was to create more jobs. And most Ghanaians are saying they are yet to see the jobs. And like Clement said, it's now a law. And so they are looking forward to what the government has, the plans to create more jobs. And then, initially we were talking about how the brain drain, how people actually leave the country to other countries just to get money. And so if there are jobs created here in the country, I don't think people would want to travel and also get into trouble over there. And then also the transport. We were promised by the Ministry of Transport that next month the ministry is procuring about 30 buses to help ease the congestion. So Ghanaians also are saying they want to see the way forward because it has become, very serious in the country.
It has become indeed very serious in the country. But before Clement, you come in, let me just talk about the previous addresses. In early 2024, we had an address in early 2025, that is, we had an address by the outgoing president. Also, we can actually say it was sort of maybe his last speech or his State of the Nation's address at the time when he was handing over. Delivered his final addressing and highlighting achievements in education, such as the free SHS program, infrastructure development, while addressing certain challenges or showing concern like security and chieftaincy conflicts. So that was what his State of the Nation's address was actually focused on. But last year we had the 2025 State of Nations address delivered by President John Dramani Mahama in early 2025, focused on economic recovery, reducing public expenditure, addressing financial challenges that we actually faced, and then some of the key things involved restoring faith in leadership, fighting corruption, and managing high debt levels. It marked the transition period, setting the tone for the new administration. The 2025 State of the Nations address economically focused on highlighting the need for extensive work to repair economic damage with significant debt servicing obligations expected in the coming years. And then the context was served in a pivotal moment where the government needed to outline its agenda from taking over from the previous administration. These are some of the things that were in and around the State of the Nation's address as at last year. But this year, let me ask you for your expectations. What do you think the State of the Nation's address is going to be centered on?
Thank you so much for that. But then I would like to touch on last year, one or two things. So we see that indeed what he addressed, has he been able to accomplish it?
Perfect.
Sometimes that's what people actually look at, your performance. You can't tell us this is what I would do, were you able to do it? And when you go to the State of the Nation,
when you say that you come early in the morning, so we'll just talk about that later. That's just by the way.
Exactly. So then going to that, I think the president made mention of I have a copy, and he says that he's going to establish gold board. That was one of the key things he talks about in terms of economic recovery and making sure our currency is stable. And we all could attest that the gold board has been established and the gold board is really working. In terms of the economic recovery, we also talked about the aspect of inflation, where he came to inherit inflation at 23.5%, and he's trying to make it possible. And currently, as we speak, is around 3.8%. So when you could see that in terms of economic recovery, the president or the administration has done very well in terms of economic recovery and the things they promised to do. In terms of even before election, he talks of lean government. In his address, he still mentioned lean government, and indeed it was lean government. But now there is this issue that a lot of Ghanaians are asking, the aspect of fighting against corruption. And I quote the president in his speech. He said, "I also pledge to fight corruption head on by implementing Operation Recover All Loot, that is ORAL, of which we know it was implemented." Okay. It was implemented,
but as to whether it's been fruitful.
Exactly, that's the point. So he said, in that regard, Mr. Speaker, one of the first committees I established, even before my, in fact, that is him being sworn in as a president, was to establish the oral committee on the sideline of the transition committee, of which we all attest that he did that. But the issue is the work so far of oral. People are asking the question, what is happening? They are asking the question that we've been in office for 1 year, 365 days, but we've not seen any prosecution going on. We only hear people are being charged at the court, and today the case have been adjourned. So what is really happening? Is it that our judicial system needs to be restructured again? So people are expecting to hear more about accountability and the fight against corruption, because Nana, it seems that Ghanaians are kind of losing that kind of trust that they had for this government when it comes to the issue of the fight against corruption or in terms of accountability. So Ghana is expecting that in the tomorrow's State of Nations address, the president will touch mightily on the issue of accountability. We know in terms of economy, he has done very well. In terms of governance, he's doing very well, making sure that decentralization, the Youth Assembly Command Fund, uncapping it, in terms of tax mobilization, they are doing all these things. But the question is in terms of accountability. So many Ghanaians, what they're expecting tomorrow is the talk on accountability, the fight against corruption.
The talk on accountability, the fight against corruption, as President John Dramani Mahama mentioned, Operation Recover All Loot Oral has been in process, but we are yet to see its fruits. Maybe it's a long-term project, but it didn't sound as though it was going to be a long-term project. But that's what we are. These are some of the things that we need to pay attention to. What should Ghanaians expect this time around? What do you want to expect this time around? You can send us a message via WhatsApp 0500500421. Time is fast spent. Peter, you want to bring in your conclusion?
Exactly. So I would like to start from where Clement actually started. He made mention now, like on paper, the microeconomy is very good. Taking a look at gold board, the exchange rate, and what have you. And so my expectation is that we need actionable plans, no more promises. They laid the foundation in 2025. It's time to reap it. And so what I'm expecting is that how we are going to benefit from the good, indicators we have on the paper, how that is going to translate into the life of the ordinary Ghanaian. And then also security and the state of Galamsey, our environment, the state of it. Recently, the acting commissioner for EPA made mention of the fact that to be able to solve the turbidity level of the polluted, water bodies in this country, Ghana is looking at over 300 billion Ghana cedis, and there's this nano something technology that they've done a pilot test about that, and so this actually borders on every aspect of our economy as a country. So the cost involved is very high. So we are looking forward to President Mahama talking about the actionable plans. We know we have the green water bodyguards and whatever, but it looks as though the situation is still ongoing. And so we are expecting President to also touch on that. And
we are definitely expecting the President to also touch on that. Another thing that we maybe are not talking about is the housing and rent situation in Ghana. We know that there are plans in place. There's a rent bill in Parliament at the moment, hoping to make sure that all rents are being computerized and being placed in a certain under a certain framework. So these are areas that we also need to tackle and then need to pay attention to. Housing and rent is one of the major issues that causes rural urban migration. Some of the effects of it as well. So let me just say your thoughts on it as we conclude.
So now I think you've said it in terms of housing. Ghanaians are suffering. As Peter was mentioning, the economic indicators are good, but people don't feel it in the pockets in terms of money. Yes, I was speaking with someone. They said you're taking your money, but amount for it means there is no money there. So if there's no money, then someone is supposed to pay a rent, and they're taking 2 years advance. But assuming if it's a month is 1,000, 2 years advance, and a young guy who wants to start life, where will he get that 2 years advance from? If other countries they take 2 months and when they are done, you can renew it. A month, you're done, you can renew. We can do it in the country. So I think, Nana, we agree that the president needs to address the issue of the housing and the rent issue. They should make sure that all the landlords, they should understand the system. Let's help ourselves and build the country together.
Let's help ourselves and indeed build the country together. I'll take the last comment from Peter, and as we round up, Peter.
Okay, so Nana, like Clement rightly said, I've been saying this, we have the laws. Let's just enforce the law. And it is 6 months. You can't exceed 6 months. Let's respect, enforce the laws, and punish people who actually go against the law. And then lastly, I think we are expecting that the president also touch on health, because health has become something in the news currently in terms of infrastructure and what have you. So we are expecting the president to touch on that.
We're expecting the president to touch on a lot of things, and we do hope that you are also expecting the president to touch on them. Tomorrow we'll be coming to discuss here the state of the nation, just as the president will give his address, and we'll find out truly is that the state of the nation Or what is the state of the nation? We are rounding up here. It's been the Koko Digest Morning Show. My name is Nanaya Osari. I've done this with Clementia Bankwe, and I've done this with Peter Kojo. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere.